Hey, good people. See that license plate? It says Jesus won. Well, I'm not a religious person, but I am spiritual. And I know that when things line up, it's divine revelation or understanding. I was thinking through a situation that I allowed myself to go through where I allowed someone to gaslight and manipulate me, even though I was kind and considerate and loving and loyal. I got the short end of that stick because I allowed them to gaslight me. I allowed them to manipulate me. And the reason why I say allowed is because when you come into agreement with God, whatever the understanding that you have of God, and you follow God's footsteps, people can't take advantage of you because they can't gaslight God. They can't manipulate God. The best of the motherfucking narcissists is not narcissism on God, whatever God of your understanding. So if you should get yourself in a situation where somebody manipulated you, where you were around a narcissist, where you were gaslit, it was because you wasn't all up in God. Because if you was all up in God, they wouldn't have been able to get to you. And that's okay. Admit that to yourself. Decide for yourself that that will never fucking happen again. Because you and God, y'all is like white on rice. Y'all is like sand in the ocean. Y'all go together. And that's the God of any understanding. Because they cannot gaslight God. They cannot manipulate God. They cannot use God in everything that they're doing when they do gaslight you, because you could have a relationship with God that is not as strong as it should be. And so what happens is somebody takes advantage of that. They mistake your kindness for a weakness. They're going to get theirs. That's cruel. That's a cruel thing to do, to know that you're manipulating someone, to know that somebody believes the best in you and you know you ain't shit. And I use that word even though I don't like to say people ain't shit, because that's kind of cruel. That's just the kindness in me. But you know that you have no good intentions. You can do it. You can get away with it for decades. But one day, your number gonna come up. If you're the person that's the gaslighter, the manipulator, the narcissist, and you pretend like you not, when you blame other people for your actions, you say, well, I wouldn't have done this if they hadn't have done that. Bullshit, you would have done it because that's who you are. That's what you do. I'll give you a quick story. I knew a girl, her husband was having an affair on her. And no, I'm not talking about me. This girl, husband, those Takis are not my own Takis. My students eat Takis, and they won a contest, so I had to get them Takis, even though I don't believe in Takis. But hey, that's what they asked for, and so it is crack, kind of, sort of, but it's not the crack that's illegal. So I got them Takis anyway, because I know you're like, oh my God, you got Takis in that bag. I sure do, but they're not for me. I don't eat that. Anyway, back to the young lady that I was telling you about that her husband had an affair, and then she went out and became a prostitute, basically. She was slinging it all around, sleeping with anybody who would give her the time of day. And so she called me, because I'm somebody people call when they want to talk things through, because I got that kind of mind. I'm pretty intelligent. She calls me and she's like telling me what he did, and she's like, and he's so wrong and he hurt me and da da da. And then she's telling me what she did. I said, okay, so you just wanted to be a hoe. She said, what are you talking about? I said, you just wanted to be a hoe, and the opportunity presented itself. Because there are people who go through situations just like hers, and they don't turn around and cock their legs up for other men. People say, well, you know, 2 wrongs don't make it right, but it makes us even. Well, 2 wrongs don't make you right. It makes you even. It also makes you on the level of a low life. Do you want to be on the level of a low life? I know I don't. In my mind, I'm going through something. I'm getting to the end of something. And I love the way I showed up in it. I showed up like the boss I am. My relationship with God is more strengthened, is more together. And all of the gaslighting and the manipulating the person thought they did, that shit gonna turn, right? It's a boomerang. It's theirs. You know why it's theirs? Because I'm not catching it anymore. And that's with you. And that can be any relationship. Don't try to speculate. It can be any relationship you're in where you get manipulated, where you get people start gaslighting you and telling you the reason why they did X, Y, and Z is because you did A, B, and C. No, they did X, Y, and Z because they are X, Y, and Z at the core, period. And they found a way to let that come out. Same as with you and me. I am a very kind person, a very gentle person, a very loving and loyal person. But I had to realize that you can be that with boundaries. I thought you couldn't. I thought you couldn't have no boundaries. You know, I'm kind. So you need the shirt off my back here, take the shirt off my back. And don't even return it. No. I can be kind and I can say, well, you can't have this shirt because it's my favorite shirt. However, I can get you a shirt. Or I can show you how to get a shirt, because that way then you can keep getting your own clothes. Because I can't just keep taking care of you. But even in any situation, I said all of that to say nobody's gaslighting God. And I started it to tell y'all I had already had this conversation with myself, because I do talk to myself because I like intelligent conversation. And I'm walking. My car is over there getting some stuff done. And I walked over to this little food line to get me some cookies and get the stuff I had to get for my children. And I was thinking those things like, yeah, they thought they gaslighted me. They thought they manipulated me, but they can't gaslight God. They can't manipulate God. And I saw that Jesus won license plate. And although I am not a Christian, I do like some of the things in Christianity, and I feel like I'm being crystallized into one with Christ, but I don't follow all of the tenets of that. I like Islam. I like Buddhism. I like the Kabbalah. I like it all, because it all, to me, comes together to form this amazing space called God, in my opinion. You may think I'm wrong, and you get to be right for you. You don't get to be right for me. Anyway, I've been talking for almost 6 minutes, but I'm really excited because I know that this message, let me tell you something. First of all, if you hear this message, it was for you, because I got like 116 subscribers. So if this come across your feed, not only should you like, share, and subscribe this message, you should know that God is talking directly to you, because I ain't hardly talking to nobody. Out of the 116 people, probably 2 of them listen to me, but I'm going to keep going forward because it's my mission. It's my mission. And one day when I write that book, when I get to that part where I can tell you my full story, you can go, oh my fucking God, you went through that and you look like that. Yeah, I don't look like what I've been through, because what I've been through, I gave to God. So I didn't really go through it. I started it out going through it. I allowed it for a while. And then finally God said, yo, check this out, Trey. You and me, we go way, way back. So let me have your ear for a minute. Lend me your ear, Tracy. And I said, okay, God, you can have my ear, you can have my heart, you can have my mind, you can have my soul, you can have my everything. And God started slowly moving me away. I would say, well, God, you sure this is manipulation? Yeah, Tracy, go read my book. Go read my word. Did I say, did you do that? No. What did I say that at? Nowhere. Where did they do that at? Not in my world. So I started recognizing. And then when I was holding the person accountable, they did what they do, because this is what people do when you hold them accountable. They find a way to blame you. They find a way to say, yeah, well, you. One time I was holding someone accountable, and I quoted something from the Holy Quran. And I said, well, you know, Allah said this. How you know what Allah said? I said, I just read it to you. But you know why they didn't know? Because they don't read. Speaking of read, if you're doing Ramadan, me and 20-something other sisters read the Holy Quran from cover to cover for you. And you can go down in the comments, tell me you want to, know about it, and I will send you that link. I think I can do that. But anyway, I had read the Holy Quran from cover to cover in my time in Islam, no less than 80 times. I read it every month from cover to cover. As I was going through something that would have broke most people, I went straight to God. And I believe that's why, even though I was being gaslit and used and abused, they gonna get theirs, because God knew that I didn't deserve that. God knew that I was doing the things I needed to do. And even though my relationship with God wasn't as tight as it needed to be to make sure it didn't happen at all, now you're not getting over on me, because God will tell me, because I'm so connected to God. And there are many people like that. I'm not by myself. I'm not special. I'm not so such and much. There are many people who are so close to God, who have God on speed dial, that when they have an issue, they go straight to God. Now I go to God for everything. God, what should I wear to school today? God, what should I eat today? Now, God has been saying to me, I told you not to eat that. You hard-headed. So I got to listen to God more on the food thing. But I've been listening kind of, better than I had been. However, I said all of this because I'm in a great mood. They're not gaslighting God, y'all. They're gaslighting themselves, and they're going to get theirs. You're going to be okay. But don't you go and turn and make your record their record. So somebody smack you in your face and you punch them in the stomach. Now, that's not a good one, because I believe if you hit somebody, if somebody hit you, you should hit them back. So I guess I should say something more like, if somebody steals from you, don't you go steal from somebody else or steal from them. You just move on about the way. If you are in a relationship, a marriage, because I say marriage because that's the covenant. I can't speak on boyfriend, girlfriend stuff, because I don't believe that that's what God, I don't believe God gives you boyfriend and girlfriends, but you might think that God does, and you get to be right about that. If you are in a marriage covenant and your partner steps out and lays with somebody else, you do not have permission from God to go lay with somebody else. You do have permission from God to walk away from that relationship, but you can also heal it. But that person has to want to heal it. So first they got to get to the root of why they did what they did. And if anything comes out their mouth like it was your fault in any way, you better run, Forrest, run, okay? Because they're playing games with you. But they're not gaslighting God. They can blame you all day long, but they're not gaslighting God. I was talking to a friend of mine the other day, and I'm going to be vague, because I'm not sharing her business. But anyway, she just happened to mention in her last marriage, that he convinced her that his affair was for the good of their marriage. And she said, I believed that shit for a little bit. She did, because she wasn't close to God. She is a Christian. She said she started reading the word of God, got close to God, and realized that he had broken their covenant. So when the vow said, until death do us part, she said, he killed the marriage, I'm out. Some people adultery does not have to end your marriage, but it does have to end that marriage that you had, and you're going to have to get a new one. You're going to have to recommit yourself to one another, and there has to be some forgiveness, there has to be some trust, and there has to be a lot of repentance. A lot of people aren't able to do that, because the fact that they were so cowardly to go and lay with somebody else shows that they got low character. And usually people with low character, building it up, they're going to need to go off into the wilderness and let God talk to them. Anyway, that's all. It's 10 minutes. I love you guys. Bye.